In this video, I'm just going to talk broadly. How do you handle customer complaints after you fixed and flipped a property and the client's not happy with how the property turned out? A couple things I would say. Number one, do not sell a property to somebody before it's done. In fact, don't even show it before it's done. I've made this mistake so many times. And by the way, I don't want to tell you what to do. I apologize. I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't sell or show a property before it's done. And here's why. In their imagination, they start thinking up all these things that you're going to do in there probably is not on your punch list, right? So then they have expectations that maybe aren't being met. So I always say, wait until the property's done, then we'll show it to you. And sometimes that feeling like you're going to miss out on a buyer makes you say, oh no, I got to get them in there. And you feel like even if I can get earnest money, you've done a good thing. And in some respects, you've secured a buyer, but you've also probably secured a problem because 7 times out of 10 there's going to be a mismatch on their expectations and what you actually end up doing in there. And that also leads to kind of a sub problem. I've had people say, hey, I know you're still working on the property, can you let me pick out the color of the paint on the walls and pick out the type of flooring instead of putting carpet, just put in all lino, and let me pick out the lighting or whatever. And I highly discourage this. I've done this before. And then sometimes they didn't end up buying the property, or sometimes they just weren't happy. And now all of a sudden, you're not just, a house flipper, you're like a general contractor builder. And any builder will tell you the headaches of trying to please a client. So don't let them hijack your project and don't let them make you their employee and telling you how things are going to be done. So, how do you do that? Don't show the property before it's done and don't agree to do all these things for a particular person beforehand. Now, I know some of you are saying, hey, I've done that before. It worked out well. And by all means, if it worked out well for you, keep it up. For me, doing volume, when I'm doing dozens and dozens and dozens of these per year, and I throw that into the mix, it has become a nightmare. So I avoid that at all costs. Back to the point though of having a customer with a complaint. If they've purchased a home from us, it was already fixed up. They went in there, they agreed to buy it as is. Maybe they did an inspection, maybe they didn't, but after the fact, they find something wrong with the property. How do you handle that? I think the first thing to assess is how serious is the situation and how irrational is the person. Sometimes you'll come across a very irrational person that there's just no pleasing them. So you need to determine who you're dealing with. Sometimes you're dealing with someone who's just a little bit of a weasel and they're trying to get as much out of you as they possibly can. So you have to figure out who you're dealing with. And that's a bit of a feeling slash kind of, assessing the person. But you need to assess the person and the situation. But most importantly, from the very get go, whether you're dealing with the weasel or not, you do need to address the situation with empathy and hospitality. So, what does that mean? You need to show that you care. Don't just send an email, don't just send a text. Pick up the phone, bare minimum, and listen to them. People need to feel felt and that you actually care. Let them vent. Sometimes that's all they want, to feel that you actually care and that they let it out. I've done that where I picked up the phone, I let them vent for 15 minutes. And when it's all said and done, they say, you know what? Thank you for listening. I'm not expecting you to do anything. I just wanted to express that. So sometimes that's enough. But you need to also assess the situation and say, you know what? Would a little gift of a customer rebate go a long way in this situation and winning them over as a client, someone who would want to work with us again in the future? So our company has what we call a customer service rebate, where we'll give them an extra 500 bucks just for the inconvenience of the situation. We're not admitting any fault. There's a legal form we have them fill out saying we're not admitting any fault. This is just a customer service rebate. It also says that they won't slander us or make any negative comments or reviews about our company. So it's a win-win. They get something out of it, and we also secure the relationship. So keep that in mind too. This person who purchased the property from you isn't just a one night stand. We're trying to build an ongoing relationship with them. We want to work with them again in the future. We want to work with their family when they want to buy and sell a mobile home. We want to work with their neighbors. So we want to have a good relationship with them. And one way to do that is to not just disregard them after they purchase the property and say, hey, your problem now, you signed the paperwork, you bought it as is. So I hope that you keep all these things in mind. Now, what do you do when you're dealing with an irrational person and there's nothing you can do? I've had so many of these stories. I won't dive into them now, but I had people call me a year or two later complaining about something that we had no knowledge of that could have happened well after they purchased the property. We tried all those things, even giving them the customer service rebate, still not happy, still complaining. At some point in time, you have to say you can't win them all and move forward. But I would say, most importantly, do show that you care. We've all been on the other side of the coin when we're the customer and or with an airline or a car rental or a restaurant, and they didn't deliver on what we expected. We feel kind of like we were cheated. We express the fact that we feel cheated. They show no concern at all about our situation. How does that make us feel? Horrible. Never want to work with them again. So we want to avoid making our customers feel that way. And the way to do that is to handle these complaints with concern, care, hospitality, empathy, instead of trying to avoid them or getting hostile or arguing with them. So I hope this video was helpful. If you want to learn more, check out our website, mobilehomefranchise.com. I have a whole section on there of free learning. I'll see you on the next video.